And our first story, Vice President Kwesi Papaimisa Arthur has directed that all flags in the country should fly at half-mast from now until Sunday, December 15, 2013, when Nelson Mandela will be laid to rest. A statement issued by the Office of the Vice President said the decision was a mark of respect and an honor to the late South African president. The statement described Mandela as an epitome of forgiveness and healing, adding that he was an amazing and remarkable icon in the struggle for the liberation of his people and the continent.
An Accra Commercial called this morning here an application brought before it by Tony Litha Council for Forties Equity Fund against the action taken by Andrew Awoni to revert the sale of Merchant Bank. Tony Litha is praying the court to dismiss Andrew Awoni's suit, which he has described as too weak and does not have enough grounds to halt to further transactions on the deal. His application states that Awoni, who is executive director of the Center for Freedom and Accuracy, does not have the capital to challenge the sale in court, though he was a contributor to SNET.
In other news, Multi-TV and Syndicated Capital have launched their services in Liberia, where the government there has promised the needed support for services to be provided by the two entities. And this comes on the back of the number of jobs and training opportunities Multi-TV and Syndicated Capital aim to provide to scores of young Liberian people. Already, over 600 youth have signed up for training opportunities in the country.
The venue was the Liberian capital, Monrovia, the hustle and bustle of a city full of potential and promise yet to be fully tapped 10 years after the end of a civil war which devastated the country in all areas and aspects. The government is eager to ensure the youth are given opportunities to aid economic and social growth and development. Its key agenda is to provide training to make the youth employable through the creation of jobs.
Our priority as a government remains the creation of jobs as a means of fostering development in the country. This approach of collaborating with a private investor to provide training for the young Liberians who require training is one that I said can be replicated in other areas. It is like a pilot project for my ministry, so that in other areas, in the areas of mining where we have the big concessions, in agriculture where we also have a lot of big concessions, we can find innovative ways of allowing the young people to acquire training and therefore to acquire a means of sustaining themselves.
It is into this environment that Multi-TV launched its multiple channel service. The reason is clear.
So under the multimedia group are various business units. So we have the radio business unit, we have the TV business unit, and we have the online business unit. In terms of radio multimedia group operating under a business unit called Joy Radio, or Joy 99.7 FM, was the first private radio station to be licensed in Ghana. Currently we operate 6 radio platforms, 4 in the Greater Accra region, which is the capital of Ghana, and 2 in the second largest city in Ghana called Kumasi. In Ghana and across Africa, we are proud to say that the multimedia group brands, the various business units, and the S probably is one of the most credible brands that you can get anywhere in the world.
The Chief Executive Officer of Syndicated Capital is Nana Osei Buntu.
In Ghana, we've done this business differently. We said, Atu was describing the models of Multi-TV. It makes it available, accessible for the people. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to assure that if we train 700 people, there will actually be a sale for 700 people so that they could have an opportunity to probably do maybe one installation, maybe a month. And I'll tell you how that works. Our modus operandi, once again, will be to partner with institutions. In Ghana, I'll show you what we've done. In Ghana, we've partnered with the Controller and Accountant General's Office, who is the paymaster for the whole country. We've partnered with institutions like the police. We've partnered with institutions like the financial institutions like the banks, so that each and every employed Liberian who actually, Ghanaian, and in this case, very well Liberian, who actually decides that they want a multi-TV, they can have a multi-TV now and pay it over a period of time, 4 months, 6 months, or 9 months. And by doing that, it means that we, as syndicated capital, in partnership and collaboration with multi-TV, we are financing the opportunity for you to have a product which will not just provide you entertainment, education, employment, but we give you the opportunity to pay over it for a period of time. You can imagine that if you're an installer and you make an installation and you're making $20, and you probably have to pay the same, a few, maybe $30 or $40 in a month to own this product, then we have given you really an opportunity not just to own the product, but an opportunity to actually make money to pay for it. So that is the modus operandi. Now these 200 people or 700 people, once we've trained these people, these guys are going to go out there to be doing the installations. Once they do each and every single installation, there is a payment that comes with it.
The Liberian Deputy Minister for Post and Telecommunications sees the launch of multi-TV and syndicated capital as advantageous, since he believes this would create an opportunity to attract investments and boost the economy.
The news is quite exciting to have you come. Free-to-air TV for us is very critical to the communication sector. We believe this is a very critical moment when we are trying to transition from analog to digital. And what this does enormously is going to help underpins our artist industry. It's going to help us as a government to be able to seize the moment and use some of this channel to communicate what we're doing, what is our culture, what is our foreign policy, what is our domestic policy. So you come at the right time.
As part of the launch, a float was organized through the streets of Monrovia. Liberia is Africa's oldest republic, but suffered through a civil war which led to economic ruin and devastated communities. Around 250,000 people were killed in Liberia's civil war, and many thousands more fled the fight. The UN maintains a presence in Liberia and still has thousands of soldiers there.
The Impoho District Assembly in the Western region has presented training materials and other items to the Impoho District branch of the Ghana Federation of Disabled at the ceremony at Impoho. The items were purchased with 2% of common fund meant for the disabled at a cost of 250,000 Ghana cedis.
Act 715 mandates district assemblies to set aside 2% of their common fund to support persons with disability. The aim is to support the income-generating activities of members, provide educational support, and also build their capacity to enable them assert their rights. It is in line with this that the Impoho District Assembly, with 2% of its common fund, acquired training materials for persons with disabilities to undertake skill training. This will enable them make a living on their own and not resort to begging, as some have been doing. The items include wheelchairs, fridges and hairdryers. The assembly also used part of the fund to sponsor the education of those in school, as well as the payment of medical bills. The district chief executive from Impoho, Anthony Bassau, said the assembly will ensure that people with disabilities benefit from the fund for sustainable activities.
We expect them to make good use of whatever we are giving them. We are sending you for training to acquire skills. We want them to stay in, get the requisite skills, whatever machine or whatever equipment that you give them. We expect them to make use of them. Those who are giving them education support, we want them to stay in school, come out with their relevant certificates, and then get good jobs.
The district chairman of the Ghana Federation of the Disabled, Albert Mensah, commended the Assembly for living up to expectation and called for effective collaboration between the Assembly and the Federation. The Western Regional Chairman of the Ghana Federation for the Disabled, Samuel Kwanzaa, was happy that awareness about the special needs of people with disabilities has now sunk home among Ghanaians.
This is now a bit better, and with the interaction with the government, people have started understanding the word disability well. Formerly, people doesn't understand disability issues well, but nowadays I think due to the advocacy that we have had, people have understand the word disability.
He called for more support for the disabled and asked other district assemblies to support persons with disabilities.
Minister for Public-Private Partnership and Member of Parliament for Wa Central Constituency, Rashid Hassan Pelpo, has expressed worry about the increasing spate of armed robbery in the Wa municipality. Rashid Pelpo asked the police to step up crime-fighting initiatives to prevent the municipality from becoming a haven for thieves. Rafiq Salam reports from Bungu in the Upper West region.
Speaking at this year's Farmers' Day at Bungu in the Wa municipality of the Upper West region, Minister for Public-Private Partnership Rashid Hassan Pelpo did not mince words on condemning the upsurge in armed robbery.
We hear that Wa is becoming a den of thievery and young armed robbers who are coming up and aspiring to be bigger ones. They do all kinds of bizarre things, attacking students and taking their laptops, attacking peaceful people who are riding through the streets and taking their motorbikes. It is important that we have a constituency that is free of crime, that can be relied on, that can attract investors, and that can ensure that people can come here and be free.
He warned bandits and hoodlums that their days are numbered.
This is also a message to the young people. We will not relent in chasing you and looking for you and ensuring that we nip in the bud this growing impunity that is pervading the constituency. You must stop it, and we will pursue you to ensure that you stop it.
However, the Minister of State, who doubles as the Member of Parliament for Wa Central, was not pleased with the performance of the police in their bid to put a lid on the activities of marauding robbers.
We have heard of situations where the police compromise because people are able to speak to them in ways that they understand and not let people go through the process, the due process. This must be stopped. Whether people come to you to say that we are all the same, which is in Wali's balance called Tijabu or not, you must insist that crime is punished.
Rafiq Salam's report from Bungu in the Wa municipality of the Upper West region.
Government, through the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, has presented laptops to 52 Ghana Education Services accredited senior high schools and technical and vocational institutes in the Western region. The items form part of a Better Ghana Agenda ICT project initiated by the ministry.
The project aims at promoting information technology and its development in Ghana by improving students' access to ICT facilities for science and technology education. In the Western region, 2,230 laptop computers costing 6 million cedis were distributed. The Western Regional Minister, Mr. Ebenezer K.T. Addo, said the presentation of the laptops is a manifestation of government determination in spite of inadequate resources to provide the required environment for the achievement of the Better Ghana objective. He reminded them of the delicate nature of the laptops and the need for them to be well taken care of.
Government is committed to enhancing the learning abilities of students, especially in the study of science and technology in schools. This is in conformity with the government's Better Ghana agenda, which among others aims at investing in the people
The Western Regional Director of Education, Nilante Cleland, called for proper inventory to be taken so that they can be accounted for at all times. The Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, Dr. Joe Otineje, said government would deliver as promised. The headmaster of Fijai Senior High School, Mr. Joseph Oklo Nyamade, on behalf of the beneficiary schools, commended government for the gesture.
These laptops have come at an opportune time when we have had to struggle with some PTAs to help us augment our labs, especially the ICT labs. So we are saying that we are very grateful and we promise to put the laptops into the very good use that you expect them to be used for.
He said the laptops will go a long way to enhance ICT education and promised to put them to good use.
So those are the stories we have for you for the morning. A recap of our top stories.
Government directed all flags in the country to fly at half-mast in honor of Nelson Mandela.
Tony Letha to take on Andrew Awuni in court.
Multi-TV and syndicated capital launches in Liberia.
So those are the news headlines we have for the morning. Up next is some sports highlights. Well, efforts by Accra folk to inch up the league table of the Ghana Premier League suffered some jolt as they were only able to draw their match over the weekend. We bring you some highlights of the results, which will be on your screens shortly. And Accra folk drew 2-2 against Udiana Stars. The Liberia CFC 1-1 against Hearts as Kotoko beat Midiema SC 4-1, and Inter-Allies were 2-0 losers against Amidaris Professionals. King Faisal traveled to Sekendiba, where losers there 2-0 against Hazakis, and Bachim United also were able to draw against Ashanti Gold Football Club. The other result we have is Bekum Chelsea, which is having some patchy form, winning some and losing some, just on the road and sometimes in their own home ground. And they were this time 1-0 winners against Liberty Professionals. And that's how the table looks like. 33 points for Kumasi Asante Kotoko, followed by Accra Folk, and so that gap stretching to some 6 points, and Ash Gold, Heart of Lions, Midiama SC concluding the table up there. And fighting the relegation battle as of now, we have Inter-Allies and Dwarfs, who also seem to be leading the pack when it comes to the teams fighting relegation at the end of the table. Well, so that's how it is for the Ghana Premier League. We now go to the English Premier League, where Arsenal were able to draw against Everton, and so it means that they still continue their good run of form in the league. But Everton seem to have remained the boogie side since they had Martinez coming from Wigan and also signing some very important players. And so those are the results we have for you, and you've seen the highlights. And Sunderland were losers against Tottenham, who had travelled to their home grounds, and Norwich City. Norwich were also able to beat West Bromwich Albion in that very game when they travelled to West Brom. Next, we go to Italy, where we bring you highlights from the Serie A. Of the results we have for you, AS Roma against Fiorentina, and yesterday some thrilling match there. 2-1 it was, and it was inspired by the Arsenal player who currently is now with Roma, Gavino, and Gavino was very instrumental in that very match. We have Cagliari against Genoa 2-1, as well as Verona Atlanta 2-1 as well. And the other highlights we have for you, we have Juventus winning early on Friday against Bologna. We go to Germany. And so the highlights of the rest of the matches, we have Nuremberg drawing against Mainz. Borussia Dortmund were losers yesterday against Bayer Leverkusen when they traveled to Dortmund, and it was a very interesting match from yesterday. Schalke also losing against Borussia Mönchengladbach, and Eintracht Frankfurt also losers when they hosted TSG Hoffenheim. And so those are the rest of the results as you have them on your screens now. And again, Bayern Munich leading the Bundesliga with those maximum points, followed by Bayer Leverkusen. If Dortmund had won that match, at least they would or have been on same level points with Bayer Leverkusen, perhaps just on goal difference being up there. So we'll see how it goes. Next we go to France, where we had some interesting matches as well. Not too many goals apart from the game against Sochaux that Paris Saint-Germain played over the weekend. They won 5-0. We have the Bordeaux-Lille game results there, 1-0. Bastia against Lyon. Lyon winning 3-1. Montpellier and Toulouse. We had that draw game in those matches we have. Again, Marseille still not doing so well, slumping. Now we know that their coach has already been given the sack, and they were losers 1-0 against FC Nantes. Well, we'll see how that pans out against Marseille, and Marseille is a team of course, Dede Ayew as well as Jordan Ayew. Well, so those are the sports highlights we have for the morning on the M Show, which is live on the Joy News channel of Multi TV. Please get interactive. We have the social network pages on Facebook and Twitter, and the page on Facebook, Joy News on TV, will get interactive, and also 1760, the short code for you to get communicative through text messages. As you get to bring in those messages as well, we'll have to say again, sports on the AM Show is brought to you by Tigo, which says smile.